Hi, it's Tom. It's on my 2024 Grit Overland GO. It's on a 2023 Transit. As you can see from the front here, we have this CA tuned steel bumper with a 12,000 pound winch. There's a lot of light-in packages all around the van, so a lot of Baja Designs lights, both on the bumper here, on the roof rack. There's some on the back as well. This van also has the HID headlights from Ford. And these are great all-round headlights. It was a big thing that I wanted in, a van. Was I didn't want halogen lights. A lot of the Transits unfortunately still have halogens, and it's just super hard to see when you're driving at night. Around the side here, we have a manual Figmata on-in and switch. So it's super easy to set up, super easy to tear down. It's been reliable, nothing to break, so it's been super solid in general. Towards the back here, we also have 120 volt outlets. So these are nice if you want to cook outside. We use all induction in the van, so we have portable induction burners, use air fryers, stuff like that. We have a table that just sets up out here, and anytime it's nice, we'd rather cook outside than in the van, to be honest. So this is one of the outlets that allows us to do that. We have an owl box. We use this mainly for hoses, electrical, things like that, as well as some tools that we might need on the road, air hoses for the air compressor, and one of bike racks at the top here. We also have a full-size rear spare on aluminous lock-in tire carrier. It's pretty secure there in general. And here you can see the both water fill and city connection. If you wanted to connect straight to a hose, you want to use a regulator, but it works well. At the bottom here, you have the exhaust from the gas heater as well as the dump valve. So this has 18 gallons of gray water. It's heated. You can just connect a regular hose here, and then there's a pump that also works to get the water out. So you just press a button on the inside. Super easy to dump out the gray water wherever it's responsible to do so. And you also have down here a ARB air compressor. So you can see the air compressor right there. It's in the middle of the van, so easy to reach all four tires. Super nice to have to air up, air down if you're going on rough terrain. These vans in general can give you a fair bit of head toss, so you probably want to air down if you're going over something too rough or you're really going to feel it. You also have your shore power. It's a 30 amp shore power connection. If you're staying somewhere you need to charge up, you can do that easily. This van also has, you can probably see the front parking sensors, the rear parking sensors. It has blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise control, automatic wipers, automatic lights and high beams. A lot of those more premium features. Ford, you kind of have to option everything, so it takes a bit of figuring out what exactly a van has. This van has a lot of those premium features. It still has a key start and cloth seats, but besides that, I think it's pretty fully loaded from Ford. It has a walkable roof rack, so we're going to go to higher ground to see what's up there. You can see all that space is walkable. There's two Harbor Freight boxes up there, as well as the Starlink, and then you can see where the Max Air fan is as well. This van has an undermount cruising comfort 48 volt air conditioner, so there's no air conditioner on the roof. This makes it a bit shorter, as well as there's some other benefits of the air conditioner we'll go into in just a little bit here as well. with the CA2 bumper too, it still has room for all the sensors and everything, so everything still works nicely. Was really well thought out from them. Going inside the van, both the seats swivel here. You have the Sync 4 entertainment, large entertainment, has CarPlay, Android Auto, everything you kind of need on there. Most of your controls are on there. There is one nice thing is AC outlet down here you can use. It's built in for Ford too. A lot of times, you know, my partner would work on their laptop or we're driving, so that was a really nice place for that. On the driver's side here, you have your S-Pod, as well as you can kind of see that red button lit up. That is basically your auto start. So we'll go over that in a little bit, but that allows the van to start itself if it runs out of battery or runs low on battery, as well as you can kind of use it as a generator at your own command. So inside the van here, it's really designed for two people. We have the bench from Canyon Adventure Vans. So this bench has, you know, a bunch of storage inside. If we remove the cushions here, it allows for you to be able to lift it up from the top, but it slides out as well. So you can see there's a lot of storage in here. This is a dry flush toilet, so it's Canyon Adventure Vans AMT toilet. It's very similar to like a wrap-on style toilet or something on that level. So you know, it has a battery pack. You can take it out, you can put it wherever you want. Once you're done, you just press a button and it seals it, and you can just throw that away anywhere. So pretty convenient. This van obviously would have a lot of room for other types of toilets if you have a different preference. For the Lagoon table, we have a, you know, there's a mount for it on the bench here, as well as on the passenger pillar here. So if you want to, you can set it up with the passenger seat or the bench. You know, Lagoon tables, they swivel around a lot, so you really get a lot of places that could be at that point. So putting away the bench here and everything, this is very well constructed. There's a 110 or 120 volt outlet under here as well. We have the Dometic fridge. So this is the 55 ice maker edition. So a lot of storage in here. You know, you can kind of set it what temperature you want. You can set the ice maker on and off. It's pretty nice as far as fridges go. You have a lot of countertop space in the grits, as well as a deep sink here. So having a kind of, you know, proper sink here is super valuable to us on the road. We lived in this van for 4 months, and right now there's no water in this van, but if there's water, you know, it runs just like your home faucet. Like, it's really good pressure. The water pump's really good in it. You can also put up this for even more. So you can imagine, you know, if you chose to have the bed in a raised position, how much cooking you could do in this area. Underneath here, well, first off, there's your kind of lighting control, as well as you know, some of your different elements. So house lights, on-in lights. There's actually 4 different light controls around the van you can have on. So for instance, under the microwave here, there's another set of lights we can put on for lights there as well. But yeah, it's the house lights and those lights I just turned on are both dimmable, and then the lights in the garage there as well. This is just mainly storage under here. We use this kind of as a appliance closet. You know, we had an air fryer, a coffee maker, things of that nature. So that was super nice being on the road, like just a Keurig to create quick coffee every morning. Yeah, and then underneath the fridge there is actually where a lot of the components for the air conditioner are stored. So some of those vents are for the air conditioner, which we'll get into in a bit, but that's kind of the process there. This also is a bit of a unique aspect to the Grit van, so I just need to open this cabinet, which is hard to do one-handed, but so this folds down as actually a shower pan, so it drains there straight to your gray tank. You have a shower curtain in here. In here you have a mixer as well as your shower hose. All the hoses in this van are in place. You don't have to worry about connecting anything, so it's super convenient there. But the shower curtain, first off, is nice. It has some pouches and stuff so you can store your toiletries in there, as well as a little hook for the shower and a little pass-through, so you just kind of get the hose through a waterproof area. It actually connects to these little black L-tracks on the ceiling here. So it's actually a pretty good size when it connects. And then you have toggles down here in the shower pan, and it's right underneath the fan, so you can set the fan on exhaust, which is a really great idea for steam, things like that. You're probably taking military style showers anyway, but I've taken a lot of showers in this van. It's very comfortable. You have a lot of arm room because it does really spread out when you get to the top here. And then afterwards, you can change that fan to blow in, and it will dry the curtain really quick then with air blowing on it. So I think really good design for this shower and just the placement of it. And it's really convenient and kind of tucked out the way when you don't need it. In the galley here, we also have 3 storage drawers. We mainly use these for cooking supplies, so we still have our cooking utensils and things in here, but really good sizes. All, nice slide outs. We have a full Magma cookware set in here and some of our induction portable plates, as well as an additional induction plate in here. So we kind of, there's times we have 2 induction plates, our air fryer going. We really cook some complex things in this van, and we like to cook, so that was a huge drawer to this specific van for us as well. You have a mirror and a paper towel holder. Those are both from Canyon Adventure Vans on this O-Trek. There's some hooks. We use this for towels and things like that. It was nice, just having a dish towel, or if you take a shower, hang your towel to dry there. And then the command modules are here in general. So for the air conditioner, it has this cruise and comfort panel. This is actually Wi-Fi controlled, so I have it connected to the Starlink, and then you're able to connect to it from an app from anywhere. You can see the temperature in the van, you can turn on the AC, you can set it, obviously it has general AC functions, so you can set the temperature. It has scheduling functionality. It has a bunch of functionality, this AC. So it's really nice to be able to do that remotely too. There was situations when we were on the road that, it would start to get hot in the back. We had our dog in the back. We would just, from the passenger seat, turn on the AC for the van, which, it's nice to be able to do. This is the Timberline controller. So Timberline controls the heater and hot water. So you would just kind of slide it to the temperature you want and then turn the heat on here. There's an electric heat element. So mainly if you're plugged in a campsite, that can either boost your heat in, or if it's not that cold out, you can just use the electric heat. We've done that plenty of times. And then continuous hot water too. So once it gets heated after 5 minutes or so, you get just flowing hot water and don't have to worry about it. That just pulls from the gas tank, so there's no additional fuel source. It's all built in. the really nice thing I like about this van is just like the systems in it, and you know, everything kind of either pulls from the gas or relies on electric. There's no propane, there's nothing else to worry about. Like, as long as you have a full tank of gas, or not even a full tank, this will work down to a quarter tank, where before it cuts off, you're kind of set to go. And then this is a Victron unit that mainly manages a lot of the electrical system. It also has sensors for the water tanks. Right now, both are empty, so that's why, you know, they just show us that. You can control, you know, if you're plugged in, shore power, how much you're drawing. So if you're just plugged in your house, I have that down to 10 amps, so I don't blow a circuit or something, but obviously it supports up to 30 amps. The inverter here. One nice thing that also I think is kind of unique on the Transits with Grit is, as I mentioned before, they have the ability to really start and use the engine as a generator of sorts. So this will happen as long as the button is enabled. It will automatically happen when the battery gets low. But also, let's say, you know, I'm at 52% now, I want to go to bed, I want to run, you know, AC or something all night. So you can just start it, and let's say I want to start it for 5 minutes, and then this will actually, you know, start up the engine of the Ford and put it into high idle, so you can kind of see it starting now. And this is all without a key in it. This is, you know, just a behavior will happen. So as the van goes into high idle here, you know, there's 48 volt architecture in this Transit. So what that means is that as soon as it kind of gets going here, if we move over, eventually we'll see this DC power. We can get up to 6,000 watts coming into the battery. So, you know, this alternator also charges when you're driving. You know, the battery can really fill up in about an hour. It's kind of a game changer, because if your battery's low, you know, you can get to a decent state of charge pretty quick, or you can just top it up, like I said, before you go to bed. At this speed, like, just being able to recharge the battery is, you know, really, really nice. You can then stop it if you so choose. So now the van is stopped and back in that state. So there's timers, you know, like I said, it's kind of a good prevention if the battery is low. You know, it's a really robust kind of electrical system and hard to run out of power. Above our fridge here, we have a Vandermoon cabinet. This is a soft cabinet. What I like about this is, you know, it doesn't weigh much, but there's tons of just different pouches, storage, like place to stash things, inside as well as outside. And it also has shelving. So we use this one specifically as a bit of a pantry. You know, we stored different pantry supplies as we're cooking. We're able to get it, spices, things of that nature. And it's pretty robust. It's tied into the, you know, aluminum subframe of the van that everything else is tied into. All these cabinets are aluminum framed and tied into the actual subframe of the van as well. Which Grit has its own framing underneath the panels as well. So there's additional Vandermoon cabinet here as well. We use this cabinet as well as these cabinets over here as a bit of a his and her kind of closet situation. You know, it worked out pretty well for us. There was a lot of storage space as well as our slide out, which we'll go over in a little bit. While we're here, I'll zip this back up. We can go over some of these vents. So there's a vent on both sides of the bed here, as well as down here. And that is for the air conditioner, as I mentioned. So as it's an undermount air conditioner, it's actually vented. And one thing I really like about this is, you know, we were traveling through Colorado. It was super hot, like everywhere was kind of like 100 degrees, even at elevation. And we had our dog with us, so we were able to kind of set up her dog bed and everything down on the floor here. And, you know, with the vents blowing on her, it just made it that much cooler. We didn't have to have the whole van be at a super cool temperature, which can be hard, you know, like kind of, if it's, you know, above 100 degrees out, keeping a van like in the 60s or 70s, it can be tough. So we're able to still keep her cool, you know, while not having to cool the whole space. So that was really helpful for us, as well as if you choose to sleep east-west in this, you know, you have that air kind of blowing across you, which helps a lot, you know, just having airflow. We also, normally, we try to camp places cooler and just relied on the max air fan, cracking the windows. There's windows here as well as here, and never really got a good, like, airflow you could really feel coming through the van. These 4 vents under here for the heater, it's kind of nice. Hot air rises, so it's right underneath your bed, so you definitely don't have to have it that hot to be warm at night, which is nice, because, you know, it's kind of blowing right underneath you there. So on the actual Murphy bed here, it kind of clips down in 2 sections. So one section is just the side here. So why I think this is kind of cool is, you know, say that you know, didn't have the slide out. We'll go over the slide out after, but it can be removed with just 4 bolts. And, you know, you wanted to cook a large meal, or like, you know, use this as kind of a ski van, you know, you have a ton of space and a ton of countertop space there, just to be able to use, you know, and the bed's still up out of the way and everything like that. Especially if we put up this here, you can really get an idea of just how much space you have here, as well as, you know, the seating on the bench, the front 2 seats as well. You know, you kind of, there's a very good galley space here that's wide. You know, you can walk down, you don't have to like shuffle kind of past each other. So that is one area there that's really, really nice. So the bed just comes down, and then the mattress really just folds out from here. I'm not gonna, here we go. So if you chose to sleep in the east-west configuration, this is kind of how you would have your bed set up. To be honest, we kept the bed set up all the time. We just didn't use the Murphy bed much for our needs. We were living, you know, full time in it, so we didn't want to deal with the setup and tear down every day. But you can see the other, you know, as I mentioned before, exactly the same as this one. I think it might be a little bit longer, but use that as a closet as well. But yeah, how we also slept in this is we created a platform. So we created a cushion that will sit on top of the fridge here. We actually have Velcro. And then a platform that has plywood underneath it, and, you know, has a cushion similar to the bed here that sits on top and brings it to the same level as this. And we actually slept north-south in the bed. We preferred this. We're both a bit taller. We had our dog as well that likes sleeping up on the bed. And, you know, if one of us needed to get up in the night, we didn't have to climb over the other person. So that will be included with the van. You can kind of use it if you want, but to be honest, for a lot of people, east-west, you have a lot more space in the van without the north-south fold-out. So it's really kind of your choice. But we do have that as an option as well that will be included with the sale of the van. You can see the other AC vent on that side as well. When we slept north-south also, we just used these flares out. There's a flare space, flares on each side. We use these as kind of like nightstands. So we had our charger over here, like Kindle, you know, anything we might need, water bottle. So it was kind of like a nice little cubby to put things in as well. So let's see if I can do this one-handed. Folding this back up, we can go over the last bits, which is just the slide out really. So let's see, I'll put this side up too. The actual, you know, router and power supply for the Starlink High Performance are mounted on this MOLLE panel on the back. Super kind of nice out the way. Yeah, you can also see the switch for the air compressor here. This is for the garage lighting. You have an outdoor shower on this side, so similar to the other shower, mixer, pull out. One nice little thing Grit put in, this also turns on the water pump, so if you know you don't want to go up front, turn it on, you can just turn it on back here if you're taking a shower. So we have this Shushkin van slide out that's attached to the L track, so that's pulled out. So we put this in, it's just a trench by 4 bolts, as I mentioned before. So if you decided you didn't want to use this or just use it sometimes, you know, it's not very difficult to take out. On it, we have another Dometic fridge freezer. So we use this one in freezer mode, which honestly for long-term travel was really helpful. Being able to buy just some quick freezer things we could throw in the microwave, Trader Joe's meals, or you know, in the air fryer and have dinner at night, like especially getting into camp late or something like that was so helpful. We also would like meal prep here and there and have some like frozen healthy-ish meals that we could just microwave for lunches, and that was really nice. So highly recommend a freezer. That's definitely was hugely helpful. But under here, there's a lot of storage. We had these boxes that, you know, we would stack them too high. This is part of our table here as well. And, you know, you're able to fit a fair amount in there. We had chairs, we had all sorts of things. But this cabinet also is lockable and it's accessible from the inside. You open it this way, it kind of just cracks open on the inside, but it's enough to get stuff in and out. So we use this for a lot of our electronics, camera gear, you know, also had like drinks in here, stuff that was like heavy and didn't want to keep up in, you know, the actual pantry. So if we had water, like drinking water, things of that nature, we kind of kept that in this cabinet here, and there's a lot of space, so you can really stack stuff up here, especially with organizers and tubs. So we have a bunch of tubs that honestly you could take with this van. We searched high and low to find stuff that fit very well in this van, and I think we have, you know, just a bunch of different well fit in Tupperware that you could take with the purchase of it. So in this side here, this is your hydronic heater on that side, as well as your water tank. There is filters. So in here we have, you know, there's a Guzzle H2O dual stage filter, as well as ability to drain the tank, all that stuff. So that side is electrical, so there's fuses and circuits in that panel there. There's also a sub panel behind the cabinets as well. Each outlet's on its own fuse, so you can, or on its own circuit rather, so you can kind of you know, use extension cords or whatever if you're cooking something, you know, more complex. Sometimes we had the air fryer going into induction, so we'd, you know, use 2 different outlets there. I think that's everything really. It's been a great van. You know, we lived in it for 4 months. I think, you know, it's very capable, and Grit Overland's a great manufacturer. They're making some really cool vans out there, and let me know if you have any questions.